I'm going to be discussing FEMA's Individual and Households Program, also referred to as the IHP. When a disaster occurs, many victims experience personal and property damage that is not covered by their insurance or alternative assistance. The IHP provides money and services to help alleviate these personal expenses directly caused by the disaster. However, there are limitations on IHP assistance. The program is not designed to fully compensate victims for all losses and damages due to the disaster. Instead, the goal is to assist in covering expenses that would not otherwise be financed. The maximum amount of funding is capped off at $25,000. Additionally, there is an 18-month time duration in which you may receive aid, beginning when the President declares your region a disaster area. The IHP offers two types of recovery assistance. The first is the Housing Assistance Program, and the second is the Other Needs Assistance Program. Coverage under the Housing Assistance Program most often provides money to rent temporary housing and money to repair damages to homes resulting directly from the disaster. In addition, under certain exceptional conditions, money to replace a disaster-damaged home or money to construct a new home is provided within the set financial ceiling. Coverage furnished by the Other Needs Division of the IHP includes money for medical and dental-related expenses, as well as repair, cleaning, or replacement of household items such as furniture and appliances that were damaged during the disaster. What's more, when disaster victims are forced to relocate, the ONA will cover transportation, storage, and other mandatory moving expenses. Eligibility for assistance is determined when an individual or household applies with FEMA. Entitlement is based on the amount of property damage caused by the disaster. Individual or households must meet each set of criteria in order to qualify for assistance. Mandatory qualifications state that you must have experienced your loss in the disaster area, and the recovery must not be able to be financed through other means. Additionally, you must be a citizen of the United States, and you must have been an occupant of the home during the time when the disaster struck. Once the President declares your area a disaster area, FEMA will provide a toll-free number for you to submit your application to, or you can directly submit your application online. You may apply for assistance for up to 60 days after the presidential declaration. You will need to have your personal information readily available, including insurance information and bank account information. After your application is submitted, an inspector will contact you to schedule a damage assessment. His report will be reviewed to determine grant eligibility. You will then be notified in writing if you are approved or denied assistance. If you are denied assistance, you will have an opportunity to appeal the decision. Grounds for denial can include already having appropriate insurance coverage or duplicate applications submitted for the same address. Also, if you cannot prove ownership, you can be denied assistance. The funds supplied by FEMA must be solely utilized according to their specified guidelines. Appropriate use incorporated in these guidelines includes money for renting an alternative residence, home repairs, or to prevent eviction or foreclosure. If you do not use the funds accordingly, additional assistance will be denied. It is mandatory to keep all necessary documentation, receipts, and records for any expenses paid for with the funds from the IHP. The IHP is essentially designed to provide adequate assistance to victims of normal disasters. However, due to the magnitude of damages caused by major disasters, such as Hurricane Katrina, the IHP assistance is exposed to several obstructions. Some obstacles disabling the IHP observed during Hurricane Katrina were busy phone lines, long wait times due to inflated call volume, a lack of staff at call centers, and inaccurate information provided to disaster victims. Additionally, there was a breakdown among address, identity, and inspection verification following the hurricane. FEMA applied an identity verification process to Internet applications, but did not utilize this process for verifying applications submitted by phone. To refine its relief efforts, FEMA strengthened its controls over assistance. Improved data checks were performed to prevent duplicate application submissions. Furthermore, FEMA provided a better equipped automated calling system, incorporating a separate fax line to accept verification documentation and an automated system to better inform victims of approval for assistance. Although many improvements have been made to the program and the amount of fraudulent and corrupt verifications and applications have been reduced, the IHP still experiences hurdles in providing assistance, especially during times of major disasters. In order to further refine the individual and households program, FEMA plans to hire a training coordinator to better provide and prepare assistance training programs for call center personnel. They also plan to train an additional 3,000 disaster workers, as well as increasing contractor staffing for housing inspections. FEMA also aims to implement mobile registration centers to be sent out to disaster relief shelters. Supplementary suggestions I would offer would be to increase the overall flexibility of the current response system in order to better adapt to both a major and a normal disaster. Also, to prevent excess corrupt funding, I would suggest performing random checks for victim documentation to prove their legitimacy.